hope you're doing very, very, very well indeed. I'm just sorting out. Putting the chat into my streaming software. But welcome everybody. Please make sure you're using the likes and subscribing and following and all that good stuff. How are we doing? I hope you're very, very well indeed. Just setting everything up here. There we go. We should be good. Happy days. Happy days. Hopefully my chat will catch up. Just give me a moment. So what are we thinking, guys? The weather's all over the place. We're going to get into all of that in just a moment. If you'll just bear with me as I get all of my chat sorted. This. Like this. There we go. Here we go. Right then. We're good to go now. Welcome, 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 guys. I can't do some things until I'm live, but welcome to the stream. Welcome on Facebook, welcome on YouTube, welcome on Twitch. Make sure you're hitting that like button, following, subscribing, and all that good stuff. 2-year anniversary for Mike watching. Absolutely brilliant. We're going to be going through some things as we start. First of all, please make sure you're liking and sharing the stream with your friends and following on the socials at Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and all of that good stuff, guys. Get it shared, get it out there, and let's try and make the stream awesome and massive and big and all those good things. Let's try and get it out there. So let's get on with it without much further of ado. Weather. Weather is the talk of the day today. This is the big thing today, weather. All I can say is I went on, honestly, 5 or 6 different websites to try and get weather. And I'm watching the coverage now. It's extremely windy. The wind seems to be going in the direction of down the start-finish straight as like a headwind down the start-finish straight. It seems really, really windy. And indeed, we've seen some cars locking up into turn 1 just as they go out on the sighting laps. So I think we may see some action early doors in the race because of the wind, frankly. But the rain, nobody really knows. Pirelli have been asked; they're not sure if it's going to rain. Other people don't know if it's going to rain. Gunter doesn't know if it's going to rain. So it's around the area. It's around the area. How you doing, Nathan? Andy? Paris? Hello. Jay? Hello. Liam? How are you doing? So I don't know. It's going to be exciting. I really don't know what the weather's going to do, but rain is a definite possibility. But the wind, I think, is definitely going to play a part because we've seen in a few races this season, Catalunya sticks out in my mind because I think it was Max and Sainz that ran wide into like turn 4 because of wind. And I think we could see that here as well. And in my head as well, if it's windy and it's a headwind down the start-finish straight, it makes me think that the DRS will have even more of an effect because, they'll be losing even more drag if it's windy and they use DRS. Does that logic follow? I don't know. But that's basically the weather. Anyway, we'll move on to the grid. I mean, what a grid. What a grid. How you doing, guys? Hope you're all well. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, following it, and all of that good stuff. The grid. I mean, who knows what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? I mean, it's all over the place, isn't it? It's all over the place. It's all over the place what's going on here. Am I still live? Am I still live? My internet's doing its internet things. My internet is doing what it does. I can see, but I think we're stabilizing now. I mean, Russell on pole. How awesome was that? How awesome was that? That Russell's on pole, and then Sainz and Leclerc. I mean, what does Sainz have to do to get a pole? You know, he beats Leclerc and Max, and then Russell pops up from nowhere. I mean, what even? How is that a thing? Thank you very much, Sam, for the 2-month support on Facebook. Really, really appreciate that. But yeah, so Russell on pole, Sainz in second, Leclerc in third, fourth with Norris, Ocon in fifth, Alonso sixth. That's a really good performance from Alpine, actually, isn't it? It's a really good performance from Alpine. A real chance for what, Marcus? All green sectors for pole position was wild. True story. How you doing, Chris? Hope you're well. Hamilton down in seventh apparently had a DRS issue. Apparently his DRS wouldn't open. Nah. I mean, to be fair, for Norris to win, there's got to be massive issues ahead of him, honestly. But while you play channel bingo on the TV. Oh, dude, you should just be involved in this. Done. Hamilton had a DRS issue. Bottas in 8th. Ricciardo, you feel, should be a bit further ahead, right? Verstappen and Perez, 10th and 11th. Zhou in 12th. Magnussen, 13th in the newly completely upgraded Haas. Stroll in 14th. Schumacher, 15th. Tsunoda, 16th. Albon, 17th. Vettel, 18th. Gasly, a disappointing 19th, and Latifi 20th. Now, I've not looked at the championship, you know. I've not looked at the championship, but I feel like, in my head, Tsunoda's been outperforming. I feel like Tsunoda's been outperforming Gasly. Has he? I feel like he has. What do you guys think? In my head, like, I was rating Gasly really high, but I feel like Tsunoda's been outperforming him recently. I could be wrong, but there's something in my head that says that. I haven't looked. I haven't actually checked that as to whether he is outperforming him. But fair play to Tsunoda, because Gasly's no slouch. So, it's interesting. Thank you, Mark, Chris, Gunders, Aaron, Craig, Nigel, and for Sandy for the reactions. Thank you, everyone. Please make sure you are hitting that like button, subscribing, following, all that good stuff, and also hitting that share button. Well, I mean, I haven't looked at the stats. Gasly only has 5 more points than Yuki at the minute. And in my head, I'd expect Gasly to have far more points than Yuki, because honestly, I didn't really rate him. Vettel unlucky yesterday too, yeah. I mean, it was like half a tenth he missed out on Q2 by, wasn't it? It was like nothing. But it's fine margins, isn't it? It's fine margins. It's very blustery over in Hungary right now. The lady presenting, her hair is like flying everywhere. It's proper blustery. And we all know that F1 cars are super sensitive to wind in the corners and whatnot. So I reckon we could see some drivers caught out today, because it does look like a meaningful amount of wind. The stands are absolutely jam-packed at the Hungaroring. Like, it is rammed there. We've just done the weather, but I'll bring it back up again, because they just don't know. They don't know, Mariner. They don't know. I don't know. Basically, they reckon, yes, but the teams don't know whether the rain is going to miss the circuit or not. But that's the weather forecast for well, it's like a little village or town right next to the circuit. I've never been, but that's what that's for. So it's right next to the circuit, literally across the road. And there's the grid. Now, here are the tyre forecasts from Pirelli Sport. They are they're saying that the fastest is a soft medium, and which is as quick as a medium hard run. But they did just have the Pirelli chap on the coverage I'm watching, and he said that the temperatures are too cool for the hard tyre. So he says if a team goes onto the hard tyre, it's just going to be slow. So don't expect anyone on the hard tyre. I think we're going to be going for. I reckon we're going to go. They're all going to go for the top, or I guess you might see medium soft or something like that. If someone wants to turn it round, but the Pirelli guy basically saying a one stop requires the hard tyre, and it's too cool for the hard tyre. Now that they've got a green track because it's been raining and because it's cool and everything like that, it just doesn't suit the hard tyre. So the weather would have to drastically change to make the hard tyre viable. So I mean I think the top option is what you're gonna see mostly chosen on the grid, and it's going to be interesting. One dynamic actually that I wanted to just speak about real quick for the sort of start here is to do with if we look at the grid. On the grid, obviously Russell's on pole, and one problem that Mercedes have had is switching on the tyres, right? Taking up to like 4 laps to turn the tyres on to get the warmth. Interesting, they're just showing the Alpine on TV, but it's got a huge amount of mechanics stood around the rear of Ocon's car to stop the camera sort of getting in. I wonder if they're hiding something because they're just sort of right up against the back of the car. I'm unsure, to be honest. I'm not sure. But, yeah, they've taken ages to turn on the tyres, haven't they? So I'm wondering whether Sainz and Leclerc can jump past Russell at the start and Russell will struggle. I think if Russell makes it through and out of turn 1 and 2 in the lead, I think he'll be able to hold on to it while he brings the tyres in. But that initial drop-off, that initial lack of heat and stuff, he may well struggle. It'll be interesting, actually, on the formation lap. I'll keep an eye out for how much George works those tyres. If he's really doing a lot of burnouts, if he's really weaving aggressively and things like that, it's just an interesting observation. I'll keep my eye on that and see what's going on with it, and if I can bring you anything on that, I definitely will. Thank you to everyone watching here on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. Really appreciate that. Please keep the thumbs up coming in, share the stream, and also follow and subscribe and all of that stuff. So, get rid of the grid. We've done the tyres, and Red Bull. Red Bull is the next piece of news, as we've got about 15 minutes until lights out. It's my understanding, someone can correct me, that that they have taken new engines and hybrid systems, but taking no penalties. But they've taken the new engines and hybrid systems. I'm not sure exactly what they've taken, but there are no penalties anyway. But do expect the Red Bulls to be coming through strongly because they've got those new power units. These screens you have are class. Are they created by yourself? All of this, yes. All of this is me. Yeah, yep. Trying to put on a show, mate. Trying my best to do something different. I'm not sure anyone does genuinely, I'm not sure if anyone does a watch along the way I do them. I don't know. I've seen a few done, but I don't think anyone really does all the stuff I'm doing in them. I could be wrong. And that's not a dig at anyone. I'm just trying to do my best sort of at it, you know. I think I'm doing all right at them. But anyway, thank you, Nikolai, Jay. Thank you, Gavin, for the share. Thank you, Lewis, Gavin, Benjamin, Charlie, and Louis for the reactions. Hello, Nikolai. Hello, Luke, James, Charlie, Andy, Luke, James. How you doing? I have a feeling Norris is going to cause a little bit of grief for the Ferraris at the start. He'll definitely try and make a move, won't he? If there's a move to be made, he'll try and make it. Lando's not scared, is he? Lando's not scared. How you doing, Marco? How you doing, Marco? Now, I want to make a request here. I want to make a cheeky little request. Cheeky little request. I'm going to remind people towards the end of the race, but I would really, really like it if peeps would vote for Seb Vettel for Driver of the Day today. I think it would be lovely. I think a lot of social media is talking about the final race doing it, but I don't know. I'd really like us to do it this race, to be honest. I won't go on about it, but I'd really like it if we voted Seb Vettel Driver of the Day. Just looking now at the coverage, everything looks chilled around the Mercedes car, most of the cars. I'm not seeing any like frantic action around any of the cars. I think everything is business as usual. I think everything is good right now for everyone. So we'll go back to the grid, I think, and keep the grid on. So I suppose now is as good a time as any. What are your guys' predictions for the grid? What are you thinking for the grid? Podium. That's what I meant to say. What do you think the podium is going to be? How do you think it's going to go? How do you think it's going to go? Top of the morning to everyone. Oh, God, Christopher. Get better soon, dude. Get better soon, Christopher. How do you call some tourists that they want kite lessons at the same time the race is happening? Something's wrong, Theo. Something's wrong. You've got to go do something else. Ashley thinks Carlos, Charles, and George. Interesting. Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton. Hamilton from Theo. You think Hamilton's going to get up the grid, do you? Sainz, Norris, Russell. Interesting. Yeah, the wind stopped. I'm really excited for this race. So how this normally works, guys, I'll count us down to where I am. But people are watching on the internet, people are watching on the phones, people are watching on the TVs, people are watching like Sky Go and stuff like that. So it's likely that we're out of sync with each other. So what I normally do is the first lap or two, I'll just commentate and talk about as I see it, and then I'll cut back to the chat and I'll start involving you guys and all that good stuff. We've got 11 minutes until lights out. Norris had some good times in FP2, so I think they may have something up the sleeve. Yeah, he's been rapid. He has been rapid, Charlie. I mean, I wouldn't be against Norris jumping onto the podium. And let's, you know what, right? Ferrari, it'd be the first time this season, near enough, Ferrari wouldn't do Ferrari things, right? But I think looking at that grid, you've got to talk about the likes of Hamilton, but I think Alpine go well here. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility to consider an Alpine either or for a podium here. Not forgetting Alpine have won here, right? So they don't have the outright pace, and it'd take an issue from one of the front four or many of the front four for that to happen. But this, for whatever reason, is a strong track for Alpine. I don't know why. It clearly suits them, doesn't it? But Alpine might be an outsider for a podium, potentially. Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, DNF. Norris had some good times. Predicting rain. It's difficult, Jürgen. I looked prior to the stream. I'll bring the weather back up again. right? And I looked where to get a screenshot for the weather, and I looked on about 6 different weather providers, and they all gave different weather. And I've now heard on the coverage 4 different team bosses giving their different accounts on what the weather's going to do. I honestly think the weather will do what the weather does when the weather does it, and that's it. So I don't think anyone can call it with the I know literally anyone could get pole, which is very cool. It is Paris. It is. It really is. Toto's saying big rain on the way, Harry. Is he? You see, this is the thing. We had, who was it? I think Toto's just coming on the coverage I've got. Just waiting to hear what he says. Gunther was saying they've got big rain on the way, but they think it's not going to hit the track. So who knows? Who knows? I believe it was last year. Yes, James. So it's an interesting one. But this is the thing. All the team managers are saying different things. All the team managers are saying different things re the rain. So I don't know. I don't know. My weather forecast mainly said it was going to rain. I think, given that there's so much wind in the area, clearly, I think that's part of the problem. You know, I think it's a bit all over the place, you know. Anything can be going on with it. Just to remind ourselves of the tyres here, the Pirelli spokesman said about 20 minutes ago that he feels like the track is far too cool, and because it's been raining, far too green to use the hard tyre. So he basically completely disregarded any strategy that uses a hard tyre. He said a team using a hard tyre, it's just going to be far too slow. So I'm thinking that top strategy of soft, medium, medium, or you might see people further back go medium to start with the soft later. We see that, don't we, with cars going deeper. You may see the Red Bulls do that. I don't know what strat they're on. I've not seen them particularly on this coverage. But you might see a Max or a Perez, because this is so hard to overtake on, they might take that medium tyre option to run longer, gain that track position, use a bit of pace to overtake those ahead of them. I honestly don't know. Who's favoured by the rain and who suffers from it? I think from a few performances, people favour Max. I think generally Lewis is really good. I'm not sure about this year's car in the rain, but Lewis is good in the rain. You tend to find sort of, you know, drivers you'd not expect as much to do quite well. Oh, that just got very loud in my ears. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because a lot of it is down to the cars as well, isn't it? You know, it just is. And if there isn't that inherent balance, Alonso, great in the rain. Alonso's great in the rain. And actually, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me with this. There's someone in particular who has gone very well this weekend in the rain. And I'm not saying he's going to get podiums, but if it rains, Latifi's gone really, really well. Latifi's gone I'm being deadly serious. Latifi has gone, and so did Albon. The Williamses went very, very, very well in the wet conditions, and I'm not being sarcastic. You could see, if it really rains, you could see something from the Williams cars. And I'm not being, I know people would like to troll that, but I mean that. Bit of tunage. Get rid of that. In case I get copyrighted anywhere. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened, right? With F1. I mean, nobody really expected Russell to be on pole. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I feel like if George can keep the lead up to turn 4, which is at the top of the hill there, if he can keep the lead up to turn 4, then he stands a great chance in the race, full stop, because it's so hard to overtake here. Though that Ferrari is a rocket ship in a straight line. But I do think the main problem Russell has is switching on the tyres in that Mercedes early doors, and it's totally plausible for both Ferraris to nip past him early on in the first lap. But it will be interesting. It will be interesting. Haas top 6. Let's remind ourselves of the grid. Let's remind ourselves of the grid real quick before I bring on the lifetime in. I think it's totally plausible for the Haases to get points, but I don't see top 6, Jay. I don't see top 6. The gods are shining on Red Bull yet again. Max and Perez out of position on a track where it's tough to overtake, and 5 minutes before the race it rains. Why is that? Why is that shining on Red Bull? They're out of position, they can't pass, and it's raining. I don't... What? I don't really get that comment. But, indeed, Rob, indeed. You know what? I'm not going to call it with... Look, I feel like we're going to see at least one of the Ferrari cars do Ferrari things. I think we'll see that. I reckon you could see an Alpine on the podium. They're not rubbish, are they? They've been there or thereabouts. They've been the best of the rest. You've had Ferrari and Red Bull as the cream of the crop. You just have. Then you've had Mercedes somewhere just after, and then Alpine really, and McLaren are coming back into that. I don't know, Luke. I don't know. I reckon you've got a chance of an Alpine podium there. I don't know. Honestly, this could be everywhere. This could be all over. I have no idea. Gasly, I'm just seeing, is starting from the pit lane. I'm not sure what's gone on with Gasly. Could someone fill me in on that? Can someone fill me in on what's gone on with Gasly? Why is my phone going absolutely nuts, mate? Is it actually raining now? I can't... They're just introducing the grid for me? Is it actually raining now? Can anyone confirm that to me? Change power unit, thank you. Look, Alonso to win when the rain comes. I'm not being funny. With the drivers ahead of him, it's not the stupidest of calls. It just isn't. It isn't. And I know I'm biased, but if it rains, who knows? You saw the carnage last year, guys. It just went crazy. It was last year, right? Who knows? I love this grid. I love this grid. I love this grid. Cheers, Craig. Appreciate that. Well, you can listen. You can listen, Ollie. You can listen, dude. Right then, we are just a couple of minutes from lights out, so let us get the live timing up. There we go. There is some rain now, right? There is some rain now, right? You're my eyes and ears. I've got to watch CBeebies. No, mate, no. Start them early. Get them on this. So, is it raining? I mean, they've got the umbrellas up on the grid. Is it raining? Yeah, there's rain on Sainz's visor. So it is raining. It's not raining heavy. For those of you that's not watching, it looks like it's spitting. It's spitting. It kind of looks like that, you know? So I'm hearing that the Red Bull drivers have been told they're going to get light rain, but not heavy enough for intermediate tyres. So then, it's spitting stickers in the chat. Confirmed the circuit is moist. Here we go. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. You're sharing the stream and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm working so hard to try and make these watch-alongs of F1 a thing. I don't know why. It's my favorite. It's honestly my favorite content now. I adore doing these. So thank you so much for the love and the support in the chat and all of that good stuff. It means the world to me because I put a lot of work into these. So thank you very much. George on the softs. Ferraris on the mediums is interesting. You know what? That is interesting. You know what, Harry? Just a thought. I don't know because I've only seen what I've seen. Could they have the mediums on, expecting rain later? Let's bring up the tyres just again real quick. Just one moment. The reckoning on the soft tyres, you can go laps 16 to 21, but on the mediums, 26 to 34. Are Ferrari expecting proper rain within the window after softs but before the end of mediums? You know what I mean? That's pretty... I mean, what have we got a window of there? I mean, potentially like 16 laps. 17, 18 laps even, sorry. So it's a big window. If they're expecting potentially rain later on, or could they be expecting some kind of one-stopper scenario? I don't know. It's an interesting one, that. We'll have to see. I like that it's different. I didn't expect that. I thought everyone in the top 10 or so were going to be on softs. I expected maybe the Red Bulls to take mediums, or one of them. You know what? I expected George to be aggressive on this outlap, this formation lap, because we've seen all season that Mercedes have had issues warming up the tyres. I didn't think he'd spread the grid, but he has. So as what I normally do, guys, and what I'm going to do, wow, George has taken up the grid very quickly. I think he's maybe done that a little quick. I honestly do. What I'm going to do is I watch and commentate the first couple of laps myself. I don't look at chat because I'm an F1 fan myself. I want to watch it. I don't want people in chat ruining it for me. You know, you get what I mean? Hamilton radio. Hamilton has a vibration in his brakes, he's reporting, while he's sat on the grid. Right then, we've got a 400 plus meter run down into the first corner as the final cars are coming round the corner, followed by the medal car. Latifi making up the rest of the grid here. I'll count down the lights so you know where I'm at with the race. But we have now the cars parked on the grid. Green flag at the rear. 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, 5... and lights are out. Russell seems to have gone away like a stabbed rat, mate. I think that was an amazing start from Russell, but it's a long run. He's taken a defensive line into turn 1. Norris has backed out of it really, really quick. And round the outside goes Carlos Sainz. That's never going to work. And Lewis Hamilton run wide. I don't know whether he was pushed wide, but he is in 5th place there. We've got Russell a little bit wide through turn 3. And up the hill they go. Now, this is where I said it was super, super, super important for George to retain the lead, because now it becomes very difficult for the Ferraris to pass. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not seeing exactly what's wrong, but it's Russell, it's Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, it's Hamilton, Ocon, Alonso. I'm not sure whether Alonso just went past Ocon. No, he didn't. I think Ocon was defending or having a look, but it seems like a pretty clean lap there. So that's Hamilton passing both. I think Hamilton has passed both. Hamilton's passed both Alpines. Just a tyre rundown. We've got Russell on softs, Sainz, Leclerc mediums, Norris softs, Hamilton, Ocon, Alonso mediums, Verstappen, Perez softs, Magnussen mediums, Ricciardo softs, Schumacher, Bottas mediums, softs on Stroll, softs on Albon, softs on Tsunoda, mediums on Zhou, softs on Vettel, Latifi mediums, Gasly softs as well. Virtual safety car. Albon has damage. Russell's miles ahead. Or is this just to do with the deltas? Well, oh, there's debris on the circuit. That needs to be cleaned. That's right on the racing line. This could be horrendous for George Russell and the others as they come through. That needs cleaning. That needs cleaning. That's more than a virtual safety car for me. There is big chunks of what looks like front wings on the track at turn 2. To me, unless under VSC, because it's the beginning of the race, that the pack is still kind of bunched so that the marshals can get on track and just sweep it off. Yeah, so Hamilton's start goes alongside Alonso. Ocon cost the Alpines, in my opinion, there. Ocon blocked Alonso fairly aggressively, and Alonso went to the outside of Norris, ran wide and back onto the track. No advantage gained. Watching the start now from Verstappen. Watching the start from Verstappen now, behind Bottas. And Perez going right down the outside here. Just like absolutely unbelievable round the outside there. Pushed to the outside there. Some contact between Ricciardo and probably Magnussen. Alonso and Ocon maybe having a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, potentially. I'd like to see how Verstappen got back ahead of those cars, because how did that happen? Yeah, Alonso not happy with Esteban. And you know what? I'm nearly in agreement with that. I'm nearly in agreement with that. Vettel taking a proper clobbering. Albon proper clattered Vettel. Russell has checked out, mate. But we need to understand here. We do need to understand here, though, that the Mercedes has soft tyres on. He needs to do this. He needs to pull away here at the front. Not my stream, Rob. Your stream. What? Thank you, mods, as well, for jumping on that. So, 2.7 seconds ahead now. It'll be interesting to see Norris's progress. But just to switch back there, Alonso said quite calmly that he never in his life has experienced such defence as Esteban today. And, I mean, it's just racing, but at the end of the day, the teammates, and, you know, I genuinely feel Ocon's vigorous defence cost both Alpines there. Perez saying there's a strange sound with the engine on high gears. Yeah, you've got to be careful what you say, Rob. I thought it was the entire stream had gone down. Verstappen has absolutely boatloads of grip compared to Alonso, but Alonso is on the medium tyre. You see, this is where we're at here. This is where we're at, right? Verstappen on the soft tyre, basically Red Bull are banking on passing those ahead. If the Red Bulls don't make fairly swift progress, it goes against their plan. So it's just interesting. It's just interesting because Alonso is going to have the DRS behind Ocon, and Verstappen, you know, it will nullify his DRS somewhat because of that. So it could be bad for the Red Bulls here. I mean, if you picked a driver to be, I might be wrong. I might be wrong here. Perez radio, everything looking fine. If you picked a driver to be behind, the last one would probably be Alonso at Hungary, right? So this this is probably the worst thing for Red Bull fans right now, being stuck behind an Alonso. But we'll see what happens. Hamilton right behind Norris still, which is great running from Hamilton, given that Norris is on the soft tyres. Russell pulling is getting caught a little bit by Sainz, who's done a. Has Alonso got a problem, or has he let him go? He seems to have dropped back a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Alonso. he seemed to drop back. Alonso had a massive moment out of turn 3. Alonso having real issues on the mediums in that Alpine. That's good for Red Bull fans, right? That's good for Red Bull fans. Thank you, Michael, for becoming a supporter. Can we have welcome stickers in the chat, please? So, currently on lap times, Verstappen, Verstappen setting a purple first sector. Perez having a good look. Ricciardo on the outside of Magnussen. Magnussen's front wing is. Honestly, I feel like the Haas of Magnussen is going to get. Is it the black and orange flag? I think he's going to get the meatball flag to go in for a new wing because the entire end plate is flapping around on that Haas, and that's a huge piece of debris potentially to fly off of his car. For me, I'd quite like to see that car pulled in for a new wing. Honestly, that's a big chunk of carbon that could fly off there, in my opinion. It's the entire end plate, instead of like being upright, is just flapping about like this. So I think they need a new wing on there. Alonso's still holding up. Alonso's still holding up Perez. Ocon holding up Verstappen, but I expect Verstappen to pass Ocon this lap. Black and orange. Black and orange flag for Kevin Magnussen, as expected. I expected that. Now, there's just been a radio message to Russell. They expect it to be dry for another half an hour. And Magnussen pits. We've got Perez right up behind Alonso here into turn 2. Perez has gone round the outside of Alonso into turn 3. The Red Bulls are much faster, right? And for Verstappen, that was important short work. Now, Verstappen on the soft tyres, chasing down Hamilton, much faster than Hamilton through the first sector, but slower through the middle sector. But you would expect Verstappen to catch Hamilton and potentially pass him again in fairly short order. But we're approaching sort of the midlife of those soft tyres. Yeah, but let's not forget, Andy, that those Red Bulls also do both have new power units in them as well. And we know that that's quite a powerful thing to have, isn't it? In Formula One, when you've got your new power unit in. Verstappen setting a personal fastest lap, 0.3 of a second there faster than Hamilton. Just slightly slower than the leader and Sainz. The gap holding at 1.9 seconds, 2 seconds from Russell to Sainz. Super close race, really, at the moment. I love it when it's a bit of a mixed-up grid. I love it when it's a bit of a mixed-up grid. Alonso now dropping quite far back from the Red Bulls. Normal service has somewhat resumed, hasn't it, in this case? Hamilton is within DRS, I think. I think Hamilton has moved into DRS now with Lando. I think he dropped back and he's got back into the DRS now. How many people are watching? Welcome to everyone watching. Please make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, the like button, and making sure you're subscribing and following. Everyone on Facebook right now, there are 76 of you watching on Facebook right now. Please type !notify so that you get notified every single time I go live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am indeed live on Twitch and YouTube at the moment also. Just sharing the love. And getting it out there and getting it about, guys, because I think these watch-alongs are a good time. I think they're a good time. Thank you, Colin and Thorsten, for the reactions. Thank you. So got Perez now right behind Ocon. One thing I didn't fully appreciate is that those Red Bulls are also on soft tyres, aren't they? So really, they're on completely different strategies to the Alpines as well. But the Alpine isn't as quick. Max going rapid? Not really, according to the times, Jay. Not according to the times, really, Jay. He is indeed faster than Norris and Hamilton ahead of him, but he is slower currently than Russell in the lead. So it's not, I think it's slightly flattering because it's Red Bulls versus Alpines at the minute. Hamilton Radio. So Mercedes are saying soft runners are starting to struggle with the front end. Let's just refresh ourselves with a look at the tyres. We're expecting the soft tyres to last 16 to 21 laps, but this is a green track, so it might last a little bit less. But we expect the medium runners to go 26 to 34 laps. Do we like that when I bring those up? I guess that helps you guys follow along. I know a lot of you must be watching the race as well, but I think me bringing up the strategies and stuff, I feel like that's helpful to people watching. Hamilton having a really good look at Lando Norris. I think Lando is now struggling with the soft tyres. I think he's legitimately struggling. George Russell has put the hammer down and is pulling away from Sainz. Let's do Verstappen watch, because I know a lot of people are watching Verstappen. Verstappen is slower than the top three currently, but faster than Hamilton and Norris. I feel like Hamilton is being held up by Norris right now, but you have to have probably a good 1.5, 2-second delta to pass someone here. Yeah, I'm not, by the way, I wasn't putting down Max. Max is now in contact with Lewis Hamilton. I expect to see Max probably pass Lewis because, again, he's on the soft tyres. And Max, it'll be interesting to see if he starts to struggle with the fronts. His times are okay, but, well, I mean, the last lap was on a par with Russell, so we'll have a watch of the lap times here. Hamilton having a look into turn one, couldn't make it stick. A little bit of a lock up there from Hamilton. Verstappen not close enough to capitalise on that. Hamilton really trying to get past Norris here. Norris, I think, is really struggling now and visibly slower than the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. I think, in all fairness, Verstappen's the fastest of the three, but Hamilton definitely needs to make his move and get past Norris. But again, on the soft tyres, this isn't great for Max now because it's costing him time, right? On the soft tyres, he wants to make up as many positions as possible. So this is interesting to see for sure. But Lando doing a sterling job there. He's doing a really good job. Interestingly, on the last lap, 0.4 of a second, Sainz caught Russell. The undercut is powerful. I think Hamilton's going to pass Norris down the start-finish straight this lap. And I think, if not, I feel like in this situation that Verstappen will pit at the earliest opportunity. Hamilton's got to make this stick. Hamilton makes it stick. Hamilton makes it stick, and Max is making it work as well. I think Max is passing into turn 3. Yep. There was nothing Lando could do there. Max had DRS out of turn 1 there. So that's it, really. Lando couldn't do anything. He needs a pit stop soon. I think, again, the next lap, I think you're going to see Verstappen breeze past. I think you're going to see Verstappen breeze past Lewis on the next lap. But it's going to be interesting to see. Now Lewis is being released. He set 2 green sectors, which is interesting. He set 2 green sectors. So, with Hamilton being released, is he going to pull away from Max on those older softs? It's an interesting point. It's just happened at that time of the race where that's possible, you know? And you've got Perez up behind Lando now. Just to remind ourselves, not that one. Just to remind ourselves, we're looking at pits around lap 16 to 21 for the soft runners as Perez passes Norris. Agreed, Rob, agreed. As we look at the times, let's look at Hamilton did a personal best lap. Now, one thing Lewis has, it's been abundantly clear, which I thought Russell would struggle with, and it's sensible that they went with softs, and I bet they did it for this reason. But on the harder compounds, it's taken the Mercedes cars some 3 or 4 laps to turn those tyres on. Verstappen radio. Right. I've clutch slip. I think Verstappen was saying clutch slip. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. There were lots of beeps in that radio message. So, Verstappen's got clutch slip. Am I correct in what I think I heard? He was not happy. He wasn't happy, was Verstappen. But I don't think it's entirely unexpected at this stage of the stints for Hamilton to pull away. And that ain't me being a fanboy. Those soft tyres should be coming towards the end of the life. Leclerc radio. Leclerc asking for Sainz to go quicker. I think we're going to I think we're going to see Russell. I think the soft tyre runners are going to pit as soon as they can. As we see Ferrari now in the garage talking about tyres in the tyre racks. Now, what Mercedes need to be careful of here is the Ferrari undercut. You know, we were talking about this. We're talking about this with Abu Dhabi last year, that the car behind in this situation almost has the upper hand because they can perform the undercut, right? They've got a lot more flexibility than the leader. The gap has come down massively at the front end. So I think you're going to see Russell pit as soon as possible. Though, me talking about the Ferraris, they're not going to make a stop. They're on the medium tyres. They're on the medium tyres. I feel like it'd be far too early for the Ferraris to make a stop. But indeed, we're expecting now lap 16 pits to start happening for the soft tyre runners. Yeah, it'd be a bit of a bad bluff because when I just used my head, really, it'd be far too early for Ferrari to pit. The race is coming to them, you know. Norris told to box a little early. A little early. So I think he's going for a bit of an undercut there. He's going for a bit of an undercut there, is Norris, from 7th place. But it's a bit early, I think. It's interesting. Really bad stop for Norris as well. Norris, unfortunately, not doing well. So at the moment, we have Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Ocon, Alonso still stuck behind Ocon. Well, this is true, Mario. This is true. This is true. If Ferrari go full Ferrari, they'll put them both on hard tyres. So let's have a look. Russell's time then, not great, but he is still much faster than Ocon. Because I mean, look, I'm not gonna sit on the fence on it. I think it'd be great to see a Russell win. I think it'd be great to see a Russell win, but I don't see it happening. Those Ferraris are flying in formation right now. You know, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. If after the stops the Ferraris are indeed 1-2 ahead of whoever, this close, they must make the call to let Leclerc past. I feel. They must make that call. I feel. Like right now, there's no need to. I think the hunting in a pack, the good, you know. Hamilton is also lapping a lot slower than the leaders. In fact, he did a rubbish last lap there from Hamilton. Very slow. He was slower than everyone all the way down to Schumacher in ninth. So I feel like Hamilton may have had a mistake in the last lap. So we could start to see we're into the soft tyre stops now. So I know we've already seen Norris. Sainz gets box call. Sainz gets the box call. Look, he didn't. He didn't. Russell's pit. Interesting. Interesting. Bad stop. Front right was slow on, I feel like, anyway. I'm not sure that, I'm not sure it was particularly a dummy, honestly. Like, in so much, okay. It could have been a dummy, but I don't think it's anything Mercedes fell for. He's just come out, Russell's come out just ahead of Alonso. Alonso sticking his nose up the inside. If Russell loses this spot, it's terrible for him. He's kept his place. He's kept his place there. I don't think it's a dummy Mercedes fell for. Again, just to remind everyone, I'm sorry not to be all about drama, but we are in the window for soft tyre stops. Russell's pace wasn't great late on in his stint. That's perfectly on schedule for Russell to stop. I don't think they fell for any dummy there, genuinely. I honestly feel that. As we see medium tyres out. See, here you go. Interesting. So Sainz in the pits for mediums. This doesn't make sense. Where's he going to come out against? Slow stop. What did they hold him for? What did they hold Sainz for? Sainz, they kept him up on the jacks for an eternity there. I have no idea what Ferrari doing Ferrari things. Called it. Everyone called it. What were Ferrari? Why was he sat up there? All the tyres were on, and they just left him sat there. That stop from a tactical advantage, from a tactical standpoint, makes no sense from Ferrari. No sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever that Ferrari did that. They've pitted Sainz. They've pitted Sainz about 10 laps before he needed to pit onto the same tyre. It makes no sense. And Russell setting the fastest lap of the race. Verstappen setting the fastest lap of the race. Did Verstappen pit? Verstappen pitted. Did we miss that? I'm so confused. So we're seeing soft pitters stop. I'm really confused. Sainz is past Ocon. Max pitted. Thank you. Missed that. He came into the same time as Russell. Thank you. Missed that. Yeah, I missed that. Max Verstappen with the fastest lap of the race confirmed on my coverage. Max is now behind both Alpines again. Alpines yet to stop on the mediums, obviously. Leclerc in front of Hamilton. Hamilton lapping terribly slow. Here. I'm so confused. I'm really confused what Ferrari are doing. Like, Hamilton with a 27, he must be in the pit. Hamilton is in the pit on the mediums. So, now Hamilton is on the mediums. Those mediums are not lasting as predicted. They were predicted to last to lap 26, but Hamilton is in on lap 20 and Sainz came in like lap 18. So those mediums are not lasting as predicted at all. So that's interesting. I thought they made a terrible error with that stop, as Verstappen is having a look at Alonso into turn 1 and makes that pass stick. So Leclerc doing a 23.9 ahead of Russell, who's done a 23.4. Now, you see, it's interesting at this point. If Leclerc pits now, is behind Russell and Sainz. Oh, big moment. Who was that? Perez, I think. Now, the only thing I feel like Leclerc can do is like an overcut. So stay out long enough to put on some soft tyres and then mediums later or something. 19.7 seconds, they're saying. So right now, if Leclerc stops, he comes out in front of Sainz but behind Russell. So they need to pit Leclerc ASAP. I don't think Max's clutch is slipping anymore, no. Max with the fastest first sector there. Oh, he had DRS, didn't he, from passing Alonso? Let's have a 1 hour into the stream sit rep. Let's have a look. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, and all that good stuff, guys. Please do make sure you're doing that. Verstappen up into 4th now. Max is running slower than Sainz and Russell, but he's quick currently. Honestly, so far Max running a great race. As Leclerc enters the pits, he should come out in front of Sainz. Interesting. Yeah, Russell's pitted. I think that was a good stop. I feel like that was a decent stop. I feel like Leclerc's going to be behind Russell, but in front of Sainz, just. It's almost as if, you know, it's almost, if I were a conspiracy theorist, it's almost like Ferrari kept Sainz on the jacks for a good 1.5 to 2 seconds after his stop finished to allow Leclerc past without telling Sainz he had to let Leclerc past. No one was working on the car. Just saying. No, hard's not happening, Mario. Hard tyres are not happening today. Shouldn't be happening. Oh, okay. I say hard tyres are not happening as Alonso is on the hard tyres. Pirelli specifically said don't use the hard tyres today, and Alpine do Alpine things. Alonso on hard tyres, they're going to take him some time to get warmed up, but, I mean, that is a one-stop. I think that's a viable one-stop. I'll just bring up the tyre stuff again. Leclerc radio. I've been told to intro the tyres slowly. Yeah, he can go to the end. He can go to the end on those tyres if it stays dry. Alonso can go to the end now. But he's going to be slower, right? Alonso does what he wants, you're right. He does what he wants, mate. He does what he wants. So interesting. So the Ferrari's still yet to run the soft tyres, right? We don't know, Derek. We don't know. The wind and the rain is all over the place. I wouldn't be so bold as to say it's going to rain because everyone has said differently. I think the problem is in the area immediately around the track, it's so windy that they can't reliably call it. You know, it's one of those days over there in Hungary. It's really windy and stuff. So some were saying there is big rain in the area, it's not going to hit the track. There was some saying there's big rain in the area, it's not going to get to the track in time. Others are saying at about 2/3 race distance it's going to rain. So it's it's one of them. Leclerc with the fastest lap of the race in second there with a 22.9. Thank you, Dalir, Nathan, Andrew, Michael, Nick, Liam, Oranyet, Jamie, Stephen, and John for the reactions. As the other Alpine of Ocon comes in for hard tyres, hideously slow stop there for Ocon. Ocon is past. Ocon's going to be past him, I suppose. Alonso having a look at the outside there, looking at the switchback. Alonso around the outside into turn 2. Ocon. Oh, Ocon. Honestly, Ocon needs to... Oh, Ocon. Right. Fair play to Ricciardo, right? Ricciardo has just done both Alpines, right? Look, I'm hoping this isn't bias, but I feel like twice this race now, Ocon's insistence to defend Alonso pretty vigorously has cost both Alpines a lot of time. I think that was a bit... I feel like Ocon's being a little bit silly on, but fair play to Danny Rick. That's a perfect opportunist move, getting him into the points. But at the start of the race and now, Ocon really costing the Alpines time here, So Danny Rick up the inside of Alonso there and just drove past Ocon. That was, yeah, Ocon... Obviously, you don't know about team dynamics and stuff, but massive bobble and lockup from Lewis Hamilton there. All is well and on. He continues, though. Lost maybe a bit of time. Why can't Ocon fight, though? I'm just on about teammates. I'm trying not to be biased here. That's just how I feel. From teammates, it's cost them both a position. It seems a little bit silly to me. Like, if I was the team manager, I'd have been like, Esteban, Jesus. Okay, defend, but pick your times, pal. But anyway, Danny Rick through, up into the top 10. Ocon and Alonso on the hard tyres to the end of the race. Lance Stroll just behind. I'm not sure how many stops Stroll has made or whatever. Like, can you imagine Perez defending that harshly from Max and Leclerc jumping past both of them? It'd be silly, right? Just to give a different sort of perspective. So Leclerc is just over a second behind Russell right now. Leclerc about to get into DRS here. Please make sure we're hitting that like button, guys. They are so important for the stream. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me. Got quite a few people watching today, which is very, very nice indeed. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Exactly. For a team like Alpine, points matter, and now both Alpines are out of the points. But what's interesting is the Alpines. They're never going to win it, but now they're on hard tires to the end of the race. So, how you doing, Mario? Max is well in with this. His times are there or thereabouts, but Hamilton is faster behind him. So Verstappen's made his moves, but I think it's going to be harder for him to make more forward progress. Sainz has proper drop back. Stroll has passed Ocon. Is it? No, sorry, it's Alonso, isn't it? Stroll with a lovely pass into turn one. So now we do have a battle at the front between the Ferrari and Russell. Honestly, Leclerc's going to just drive past Russell. We all know that Ferrari is a rocket ship. I don't think there's very much that Russell can do here. I don't see him getting past here. I really don't. I mean, I don't see him defending this particularly. Into turn one, Russell goes slightly defensive. Leclerc's going to have the switchback and the DRS into turn two. Russell's struggling with traction. And then is on the outside of Russell. Russell just, doing what he does. You close the track off to the outside, right? It's just a matter of time. This is what I said, though. On the lead up to this race, I said, remember Russell in Catalonia. He knows how to defend very sensibly. He knows how to be very obvious with the placement of his car and say, well, I'm here, mate. You need to take that line if you're going to be doing it, pal. And he doesn't weave about. He doesn't do stuff stupidly. I mean, you watched Famous Last Words. But I think it's a matter of when, not if here. It's a when, not if, I think, here with Leclerc and Russell, because that Ferrari is the better package. We all know it. And Russell's doing a superb job today to be where he is. As they go down the start-finish straight once again, round out of the final corner, all looked quite nice there from the Mercedes of Russell. Looking into turn one, and a slightly defensive from Russell again into turn one, but nothing crazy. As they go down to turn two, DRS open from Leclerc. Russell not even... See, this is what I loved. I loved this in Catalonia, right? Russell is very, very efficient. Is very, very efficient with his driving. Is very efficient. And this is something we saw in Catalonia. He's got a tremendous ability. It's just racecraft off the charts. He's got a tremendous ability to know when the car behind is close enough for a move and when they're not. And he doesn't inefficiently go offline to defend when he doesn't need to. And he's very good at that. He's very, very good at that. And what that does, you see, what that does is mean George can take his optimal line more and keep his general race pace up. Because if you defend too much, you start to cost both you and the driver behind time. And Russell's just got a knack of being very good at that. But I still maintain it's just a matter of time. Leclerc has a much faster car. Leclerc, see this again. Russell seems to have great traction off the corner as he goes a little bit defensive into turn one. And Leclerc's looking for the cutback there. As he gets DRS down towards turn two, goes defensive as he needs to. Leclerc looking for round the outside, but a cutback to get the outside of turn three. That's not going to work. He might get him up towards turn 4 here because you do get a bit of slipstream. Honestly, Russell, I remain impressed by this from Russell. He might get a track limits warning for the turn 4, but this is what you want to see. Like last week in France, when people were saying what a duel between Leclerc and Max, it wasn't. This is a duel. This is a duel because the car behind is actually trying to pass. George doing a superb job right now, though. Maintaining first place. He won't overdo it. I really like George. He's such a good driver. He really is. Leclerc looks closer into the final corner. See, George is taking a very V-shaped line through the final corner to try and get that power down early, to try and get that straight line out of the corner. Russell goes extremely defensive. Leclerc goes around the outside. My TV cut to a stupid angle of the crowd that no one cares about into turn 1, but Leclerc is past. Leclerc seemed to proper chop Russell up into turn 1 there from the really stupid angle F1 gave us there. But great job. Great job there from Russell. I don't think he could have done any more. He couldn't do any more. That Ferrari is so much faster. We all know it. Let's have a look. I mean, it was a DRS pass, Chris. Let's have a look at the replay. He's got the DRS. Russell goes right over to the inside, over the pit exit, and brakes late. And there you go. You see, yeah, it was a fairly standard. It was a fairly standard DRS pass for me. That. So there you go. Russell, great job. I don't think he could have done much more than he's done there. And he's dropped out of DRS quite quickly. Now, we're moving into Ferrari doing Ferrari things. Now they have the lead of the race. It's about time for someone on the Ferrari grid to decide they no longer go to the toilet with their rear. They go to the toilet with the brain. So I expect Leclerc to pit in the next couple of laps for hard tyres and then drop the wheel or something. Something like that's going to happen. A couple of drops of rain on the lens of the camera at turn 2. So Leclerc with a 23.0 when Russell's on a 25.1. Russell 24.0. Verstappen 23.7. Leclerc really putting the hammer down here. Perez with a personal green first sector. Verstappen reporting it's drizzling more and more. So, yeah, what they're going to do, Ollie, is they're going to play the Cameron strat. It's going to start absolutely throwing down with rain, and they're going to go, hard tyres, boys, hard tyres. That's what they're going to do. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I think we're having a good watch-along stream again. Today. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. It really, really helps. And also make sure you're subscribing, following, all that good stuff. And please don't forget to give the stream a share. Well, it depends on the rain. Now, we know it's been heavily raining over there this weekend, but I think we have to just... I think we need to... Is it going to be that type of rain where they stay on slick tyres? You know, the residual heat in the track, the heat of the tyres, that can get around the precipitation? Or is it actually going to rain and require intermediate tyres? Again, it's raining so... the weather is all over the place. It's very interesting. A very interesting point that on the last lap, Hamilton was like a second faster than any of the top 5. And again, Hamilton is as fast as Leclerc. Where's that come from, Mr. Lewis? Where's that come from? Very interesting. One thing I think that we are seeing here is we're seeing the Mercedes a lot closer, right? We're seeing them a lot closer, aren't we? We're seeing the Mercedes actually. We've not had safety car. We've had a VSC. We've not had a safety car, and we're at mid distance, aren't we? I think we're at mid distance. Yeah. I think we're at mid distance now, and look, the reason I'm pointing it out is I want to see Mercedes in that battle because a 3-team battle for wins. If every week 1 of 6 drivers could be in with a shout of the win, that's great for us as fans, guys. That's great for us as fans. And to me, at half distance, for Hamilton to be 10 seconds off the lead is great, honestly. No, mediums cannot make to the end, no. No, they can't. I'll bring up the tire strats again. I'll bring up the tire strats again for you guys. It looks like lap 42 is the earliest you would pit to put mediums onto the end. If someone's on hard tires now, they're going to the end unless it rains. But no, everyone save hard runners are pitting still. I really love doing these watch longs, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really, really appreciate it. I absolutely love doing them. I love doing them. Big yawn. AlphaTauri Yuki Tsunoda, Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, Yuki Tsunoda. He's spun. He's last. He's spun at the chicane there. Seb Vettel. Wait, what? Hang on. Seb Vettel is. Wait, what? Seb Vettel. Oh, Seb Vettel's behind Ocon. Seb Vettel's behind Ocon. I do want to throw this out there, guys. I do want to throw this out there. I'm wanting everyone to vote for this man for driver of the day, please. I want everyone to vote for him for driver of the day, please. Seb Vettel running wide at the chicane, chasing Ocon, slowed down, didn't gain an advantage, but I want everyone to vote for him. Not a good race for Tsunoda, no. Watching this Tsunoda replay. Oh. Honestly, having seen the replay of Tsunoda's spin, very strange. I would call it a lazy spin. It was strange. It just swapped ends. Very weird. I think that Aston Martin green, that car is a great looking car. It's great looking, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Pete, Argo, Randy, Craig for the reactions. Thank you. Oh, Yuki Tsunoda. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, guys. We need more likes on the stream. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribing, following, all that good stuff. You see, right? I'm wondering whether the rain's going to come. Do we think? For me, the best looking car is the Ferrari, but the Aston's right there. I think that Ferrari is the best looking race car of any type for many years. Pardon me. Can we just appreciate the fact that Leclerc is a second a lap faster than anyone at the minute? What's going on? I've just thought of something. Leclerc's got the tyre advantage as well, hasn't he? Because he was out there longer. His tyres are younger, aren't they? His tyres are younger, aren't they? That's true, Marcus. You are quite correct. They've not done that yet, have they? Is anyone watching on YouTube or is anyone watching on Twitch? You are very welcome to get involved in the chat. I don't know whether it's just people from here on YouTube, but. Norris with the radio call. Everything feels extremely slippery for some reason. Anyone drinking Sneak today? Anyone drinking Sneak today? If not, go buy some and use the code PIT at checkout, sneakenergy.com. Get yourself some electric mango. Russell says he's struggling with the rears. Red Bull getting ready. Red Bull getting ready. Ready. Red Bull getting ready. Tropical drinks are free once you've bought it. Box for Verstappen. For medium tyres. Well. Well, Red Bull must be confident it's not going to rain. That's all I can say on that situation. Red Bull must be completely confident it's not going to rain. And now Mercedes are reacting to that with a box. Now, let's bring up our tyre thing. That's Sebastian Vettel. It's too early. It's too early. Vettel passing Ocon. It's too early. It's too early. Now, hard tyres for the Ferrari. Hard tyres for Leclerc. Mediums won't... Yeah, but Dewey, mediums won't make it. Interesting. This is fascinating. They have to, Ollie. So this is... So... well, they're not... You see, look, I'm going to defend Ferrari on this. I'm going to defend Ferrari a little bit on this. Leclerc has run 2 sets of mediums. He cannot make it to the end on any other tyre than the hards. So there's nothing he could have done differently other than stay out. I don't see the medium runners making it. I don't see the medium runners making it. All of the pits, hear me out, right? All of the stops have been earlier than predicted. Checo pulling over for Verstappen. I don't see the mediums getting to the end. I mean, Verstappen's getting the lead, getting the net lead here, but I just don't. I don't see the mediums getting to the end. And Verstappen takes the lead there. Verstappen takes the lead as Russell is right behind Perez. Well, no, he doesn't take the lead. He's in third. The hards are not favoured for the race, no. But this is fascinating, right? Because basically, what we could have here, I'm sure a couple of seasons ago, right? I can't remember which two drivers, genuinely. Was it Max that was on a tyre that was going off and Hamilton passed him? Or was it Hamilton on a tyre that was going off and Max passed him towards the end of this Grand Prix a few years ago? No, Ferrari didn't really have a... Oh, Max! Max has chucked it. Perez not wanting to pass Max is allowing Russell to have a look down the start-finish straight. Russell down the outside. Perez refusing to pass Max. Russell will have DRS down to turn 2 as well. Is he going to get him down into turn 2? Look, I need to see that spin or whatever happened with Max Verstappen, but there was a lot of smoke and he could be running on flat-spotted tyres right now. I mean, that really just has thrown a cat amongst the pigeons. What happens here? So here we go, replay into the second penultimate corner. Turns in. Basically, what Verstappen did there, he looked at his throttle and the car spun. Wow. But, okay. Let's just qualify what's going on here. Let's take a minute. Look, I'll defend people when it needs defending. I don't think it's rain. I just think it was a lack of grip for some reason. I think it caught him out for some reason. It wasn't too different from Yuki, as you say, Marcus. So, and he's pitted again for Perez for new mediums. Sorry. So let's just qualify what Ferrari have done there. Look, Verstappen started on softs, put the mediums on, and then has put more mediums on to the end. But Sainz went medium. And at the time Verstappen has pitted to undercut, the only option to get to the end is a hard tyre for Leclerc and Ferrari. So they had no other option, really, apart from running really, really long and putting the softs on. So, which I think Sainz is doing, but I really don't know. But I will defend the decision of Ferrari. It was the only play they had. No, Max is not out. Max is in fourth, behind Leclerc. But I'm confident now with that spin even more so. I honestly feel like Max has to pit again. If Max doesn't pit again, I feel like Leclerc's going to be stronger at the end of the race. I genuinely feel that. He has just done the fastest lap of the race, fair enough. Max is angry now. But I genuinely don't think they have the tyre to get to the end. All of the stops in this race so far, all of the stops so far have been before these forecasts. I don't see them getting to the end, the ones that stopped for the new mediums. I really don't. Perez probably can. Well, they'll get to the end, but will they have pace? Will they have pace? Hamilton, no. I think what you're talking about there with Hamilton, with Hamilton and Sainz, think this but reversed. Think this but reversed. That's what Hamilton and Sainz are doing. So they're gonna want to go to, what's that? The mid-50s of laps. When they get to around lap 50, they can go to softs to the end. So Sainz and Hamilton are doing this but reversed. So if they get to 50 plus laps, Sainz and Hamilton are doing that but reversed. As Verstappen is DRS and past Leclerc down to turn 2. I just wonder. I just wonder whether Max is going to have the tyre. Even with that spin, I just don't know if Max is going to have the tyre. Perez with the fastest lap of the race. I can't call this. I don't think it's as simple as Ferrari. They could have made a mistake. The call could have been to leave Leclerc out, you know. But in that moment, all Ferrari could do, if they were stopping, is put the hard tyres on, because it would have been medium, medium, medium. They couldn't do that. I don't know, Bracy. I don't know about all that. Perez is 6th, and he's 40 seconds back. I don't think that's happening, Bracy. I don't know, Matthias. I think anyone in the top 5 has a chance here. Hamilton is absolutely flying towards the back of Sainz. You know what? Looking at these times, if Sainz and Hamilton make it to put the softs on, Sainz and Hamilton are in for this, I think. So Sainz and Hamilton will be on Verstappen radio. Verstappen light drizzles. Hamilton and Sainz are going to be on soft tyres while these guys are all on mediums that are going off at the end. I can't call this. Rain, if it really hammered it down now, Sainz is in prime position with Hamilton just behind, isn't he? Everyone else behind loses out. This is a tactic we've seen from Hamilton a lot this season. Hamilton has done this a lot this season, and he said it a couple. Hamilton reporting his tyres are still okay. Hamilton has done this a lot this season. Specifically, we've heard him on the radio as well, wanting an offset strategy on purpose. He doesn't want to be reactive. He wants a different strategy, and he's said it on the radio. He wants to offset himself. Potentially, Chris, where's the speed come from Mercedes? It's been building all season, Nathan, to be fair. And to be fair, all season, Mercedes have been decent in the race. They haven't been Ferrari, Red Bull decent, but the Mercedes have been there the best of the rest all season. So it's only a matter of time that the Mercedes were somewhere near. It's just a question if Sainz and Hamilton can get back past. Exactly, Ollie. And it's just interesting how much time Verstappen catches them. Sainz is 6/10 behind. 6/10 faster than Sainz in the pits. Now, what is Sainz going on to? I don't have coverage of this right now. Sainz is in the pits. Down behind Verstappen. I don't know what Sainz has got on. I'm just seeing the coverage now. I expect Hamilton to go even longer. What is he putting on? Softs? Slow stop. Slow stop for... What are they doing? No. So if it was me, Ollie, I would still be like, if it was me and I was the strategist, I'd be telling Lewis we want to get into the 50s of laps to ensure that soft is good to the end of the race. I think it's still a touch early. I honestly feel it's a touch early for the soft tyre. And again, I'll bring it back to this. We're on lap 48 at this point. We're on lap 48. I could be wrong with my maths, but we're on lap 48. I feel like it's a little early. But actually, looking... I think it's a little early. I think it's so powerful, and we've seen it here in the past, Ollie. That new tyre, it means a lot. I mean, look at the times. Look at the time. Oh, look at the times up at the top. Hamilton and Verstappen, right? An old tyre to a new tyre, 1.7 seconds a lap. Hamilton is losing, but he's going to put on the soft tyres. He's going to put on the soft tyres. Hamilton, I think, genuinely is going to be a nuisance for people. I still think it's a touch early. I think they need to be in the 50s of laps here. But this is... it's just interesting. On this lap again, Hamilton is losing a lot of time. He's not really in the race for the race for the win, isn't Hamilton? But this is the right strap for him, and I think it's interesting and important because Sainz, I think, is going to be struggling at the end with those soft tyres from there. I genuinely do. Early, Rob. They were in earlier than intended. Earlier than intended. This is why I'm saying I feel like... And we saw, Ollie, we did see as well that the Red Bulls were making passing work on the softer tyre near the beginning of the race. So I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. I don't know. Just interesting. I like there's a lot to go in this race with 20 laps to go. There's still movement to be had. Can Verstappen make it to the end? Do you think Verstappen can make it to the end? He pitted earlier than Pirelli predicted you could make it to the end. I think Verstappen, who else? The others that stopped in and around Verstappen, I honestly think they're all going to be struggling on those mediums towards the end. Russell, Perez, I think, is going to be okay because he was a couple of laps later. Norris, Alonso, Ocon, Bottas, all on the hard tyres. The Alpines actually have come back into the points there on the hard tyres. Please make sure you're hitting that like. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, following, all that good stuff, guys. I love doing these watch-alongs, guys. I know I've said it about 20 times today, but I do love doing these watch-alongs. Thank you for hanging out with me. Russell is right on the back of Leclerc. I'll bring up the tyre strats. I think from now, we're on lap 51. I think from now, we could see Hamilton pit. Leclerc defending Russell. Here are the tyre strats. I think from now, we could see Hamilton in for the soft tyres. I think we could see him in for the soft tyres. Now, where would that put Hamilton? It'd be out behind Sainz. What do you think? Yeah, Lewis is going to go on to softs for sure, Chris. Lewis is going on to softs. Now, the question is, Sainz is on softs. What's Sainz's pace? Hamilton's in the pits. I mean, look, I'm just saying, right? Hamilton's in the pits, right? Hamilton's in the pit. And what I just want to say is, I should basically be a Formula One strategist, or I should be an actual F1 commentator, because I've called this strategy to perfection. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Russell right up behind Leclerc again. I think the straight line speed of that Ferrari is, or a driver for Aston, yeah. Leclerc doing a great job defending against Russell, honestly. Now, just yes or no in chat. Just yes or no in chat. Will the medium runners like Leclerc, Russell, Perez have the tyre to last to the end of the race? I think Verstappen is going to be struggling at the end. I really do. I really do. What's not interesting, Peter? Do you think, Mark? It's going to be interesting. Really, I think the only threats to Verstappen at this point are Sainz and Hamilton. And Sainz is only marginally faster. But I think Sainz won't have the tyre at the end. I don't think Sainz is going to have tyre at the end. Russell's having a nightmare trying to get past. So it doesn't work that way, Chris. A gifted sub, it just automatically goes to someone, mate. You can't, like, not everyone gets notified. One person in the stream gets notified, and they get it, and that's it. So you can't decide. At the time, Ollie, I don't think it's weird. This I'm going to try and I don't know how I'm going to say this. The hard tyre was the only option, but I don't think they should have been so reactive. Does that make sense? If they had to pit then, the hard tyre was the only one that they could do. Do I think they should have pitted then? No. I think they were in prime position. I think they acted scared there. They should have done what, I know Hamilton's not going to win the race, but they should have done what Hamilton did and stuck to their strategy, right? George on the outside of Russell. And George is past Leclerc. Now, that's the interesting thing now. What Leclerc has to hope is that those medium tyres fall off. Well, yeah, it's just people. Yeah, anyone gets it. Oh, thank you for the 5 gifted in chat there, Chris. That's super generous of you, dude. Thank you very much. As Luke gets one of the gifted there, I think. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much, Luke. Thank you, Chris, for the gifted subs. That's awesome. Really appreciate that, dude. Soft tyres for Leclerc. Right. 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 Thank you for the sub there. Now, this seems insane. Well, I'm trying to think of a way to defend this. Now, so the only way this works is that Verstappen isn't making it to the end, as Hamilton does the fastest lap of the race. So Hamilton is past Leclerc now. Hamilton is lapping 1.1 seconds faster than Verstappen in the lead. Thank you, Nathan and Eric, for becoming supporters. Really appreciate that. Risk of light rain in 2 laps. Now, Leclerc will be fully rapid to the end. Look, I'm going to call it now. I don't know by how much, but Verstappen and Russell's tyres are going to go off at the end. Right? Those tyres are going to go off at the end, and I think you might see a delta of 1+ seconds there, like a time difference between the likes of Verstappen, Russell, and Sainz and Hamilton. But it depends when those tyres go off. Leclerc is going to be doing qualifying laps until the end. I agree, Ollie. If he's got the tyres, Verstappen should Verstappen pit? Should Verstappen pit? It's a tough one. Charles is down in 6th place, 33 seconds back. So if Verstappen pitted now, he'd come out a second behind Hamilton-ish in 4th. How many laps left? We're on lap 56 of 70. Rain is... Oh. Light rain is coming over the track, right over the track. I can't call this. I can't call this. I can't call... I honestly feel quite strongly that those tyres of Verstappen... Let's look at the lap times. Verstappen with a 23.0. Russell with a personal best at a 22.7. Let's look at Sainz and Hamilton when they come over the line. Hamilton with a 21.5. Whoa! Whoa! Hamilton doing a 1.5 seconds faster than Verstappen. Mate. I can't call this. Wow. 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 That's unbelievable. This is what I was saying, Ollie. This is what I've been saying. As soon as Verstappen and Russell pitted, I thought, this is too early for those mediums to get to the end. We may see Verstappen respond, Russell respond. I mean, Russell did personal best last lap. I just don't... I mean, what's Leclerc doing? Leclerc 22.6. He's doing a personal best. A 21.3 from Hamilton. Sweet Jesus, what's he doing? He's filthy, the boy. Where's that come from? 1.5 seconds faster again. What's going on with Hamilton here? Have we got any track limits violations? What's going on? I mean, look at the lap times. Where's that come from? That is unreal. Look, again, as a neutral F1 fan, this is brilliant. We have Verstappen in the lead in a Red Bull. Don't know if his tyres are going to last. Russell in second, doing well. Are his tyres going to last? Russell getting the radio message, they think his tyres will be fine to the end. Sainz in third. Hamilton flying. Perez doing Perez things. Leclerc just not in it anymore. What is this? Maybe, Ollie, maybe. He's been sandbagging. Yeah, he's been sandbagging for like nearly a year. Charles is in the 21. You're right. Charles is in the 21. Hamilton is just a second faster than anyone in front of him. How many laps left? 11 laps. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know. I honestly think anyone down to Hamilton can win this race. I honestly don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know. Can those softs hold out on Hamilton's Mercedes? Can those softs last? I don't know. Can Verstappen's mediums hold out? I don't know. I just don't know. Potentially, Ollie, but you don't know what the tyres are doing at this point for him. He might be pushing and that's all he's got, you know? It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Rob's thrown out there that all the floors are legal now. You know what? I'm not sure that's a bad take. Rob. Look, you know what, Rob? I think you could have a good call there, but we can't. Hamilton with another 21.8 is mega fast. So, what do we think, yes or no? Do we think Red Bull and Ferrari are running compliant floors here and that's why Mercedes are in the fight? Yes or no? I mean, I don't think it's a bad shout. I would say, though, had Verstappen had a good qualifying, he would be up near the front. I mean, he'd be way up ahead. I still don't know what's going on here. I mean, you might not think they were even running a legal floor anyway, but Hamilton. Well, you see, Bracey, I was talking about this yesterday. It would be advantageous to run it early to get that data, wouldn't it? It would be advantageous to run it early to get the data on the new floor to see what you can do. Because while we go into summer break, there are still 2 weeks of work for the F1 teams, which is enough time to get a new floor sorted and stuff like that. So it's just interesting. Spa's going to be very interesting because apparently Mercedes have the new engine and the new hybrid system, which they can turn everything up to 100%. And whomever isn't running a compliant floor definitely will be running a compliant floor. So, well, who knows, Bracey? Who knows? I was saying that both could because Max has got that cushion at the top of the table that they could do, you know, a cost benefit thing. Are we going to lose points? Maybe, but we'll get this wealth of knowledge and data to work with. You know, is it going to be a disaster? No. Are they going to win? Don't know. You know, It's one of those things. Now, look, you don't have to do this, guys. You don't have to do this. But I'm going to go right now and vote for Seb for Driver of the Day because I want to. F1 Driver of the Day. Just because I want him to win it today. If not, I hope it's the final race of the season, whatever happens. So Hamilton is right on Sainz now. I'm going to go vote for Seb. There we go. Seb voted. So Lewis is right behind Sainz. Now, if Lewis gets stuck behind Sainz for long, it ruins his forward progression. He's got to get past him quickly. But Ferrari. I mean, look, I've said this for so long. It's Max's championship to lose. And this has proven it again, hasn't it? The Red Bull is a better race package, but Ferrari just keep doing Ferrari things, don't they? So Lewis has got to get past Sainz here. He's right on his gearbox. Sainz has gone defensive. Hamilton's already round halfway down the straight. Sainz couldn't defend. Hamilton up to third. Hamilton setting a purple first sector. So it's interesting because Hamilton's behind Russell now. For me, I think I would say Russell should allow. I'd have Russell move simply because I'd want to see the pace that Verstappen has. It might be one of those situations that so long as Russell can stay a decent gap ahead of Sainz, that you say allow Lewis past to see if he can trouble Vettel for the win. And that's not favouritism. That's let's push Verstappen on those old medium tyres if he has the pace. Because we don't know, do we? Because at the moment, Verstappen's chilling, you know? So I think it would be a bad take to keep George in front of Lewis for some, I don't know what reason. It wouldn't be you know, like, well, no, I'm being fair. Earlier on, I found it silly how vigorously Ocon defended Alonso, and now we can see Hamilton is all over Russell. I'd be making the call. And Vettel is right on the gearbox of Stroll, also just ahead. I think, you know, if they want to give any kind of trouble to Verstappen, they have to release Lewis. I think it would be entirely silly, you know, even if they said we'll give the position back if he can, you know. They need to do it, in my opinion. I've said it, yeah, same here, Ollie. I mean, Hamilton's just going to pass him anyway here. But Russell is defending. Russell's defending. Lewis has passed under the second DRS switch back there. It was a formality. Now, because of that, I feel, it's Verstappen. You know, I think what you have to say here, I've voted for Seb because just sentimental reasons, driver of the day. The actual driver of the day is Verstappen, isn't he? Clearly. Hamilton, quite a close second, because you have to respect the fact that Mercedes is not that Red Bull and is in second place. So it's a cracking drive from Hamilton as well. Nearly as good as Verstappen, in my opinion. Russell, decent day at the office at the minute. I mean, and Ferrari. Ferrari. Perez, I'd give him a 5 out of 10 today. Norris has just gone backwards. I agree, Ollie. Why, Dante? Why? It's been in F1 since forever, mate. We saw earlier on Checo Perez pulled over immediately for Max Verstappen. And in fairness, just then, Russell defended Hamilton. He didn't let him pass. So the only person that's let anyone pass that I saw today blatantly was Checo letting Max pass. But it's still fair game. Max should win this. He's still got residual pace. We'll look at the lap times, but he should have the residual pace. Hamilton would just have to be ridiculously fast. Verstappen, that's. I mean, Hamilton's only 0.3 faster at this point, so. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say everyone should be voting just for the good spirit of it. Everyone should be voting for Seb for driver of the day. But really, Verstappen very closely followed by Hamilton. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's an insane race from Max. It's a very good race from Max. He does have the best package on the grid. He is the world champion. I don't understand what your problem is then, Dante. You're literally not making any sense. Yeah, I don't really get what you're on about there, Dante. I just can't believe. I can't believe Ferrari. Yeah, no one say about people binning it. Nobody say about crashes and bin it, please. It's not really what I'm about. Bottas retiring. Could this be a safety car? It could be. It probably should be a safety car. This could be the end of the race. Well, no. Let's follow the Abu Dhabi rule. Let's red flag it. Let's red flag it quickly. Just red flag it quickly. Red flag it quickly. Let's have two laps of racing. Just red flag it. Virtual safety car? I'm taking the piss, guys. I am joking, guys. I'm joking, guys. Calm down. But there we go. Indeed, Luke. Ferrari being Ferrari, right? Ferrari being Ferrari. Wait, is the car all okay? Stand by. Is that what just happened there? Not really, Marcus. It was ending there anyway, wasn't it? There was nothing else was happening. It wasn't as if anyone else was moving. I mean, I don't think anything brewing. I think it was going to end anyway, wasn't it? I mean, that's a terrible day. That's a terrible day from Ferrari. Red Bull made the most of that. Mercedes there again. Verstappen, I mean, I voted for Seb, but Verstappen driver of the day. Hamilton, an extremely close second. And I qualify that by saying that Mercedes isn't that Red Bull. It's raining hard, Russell said. Seb in the points. Yes, he is. I'd not noticed that. Alonso got in front of Ocon as well. Apparently, it's hammer it down according to my... Can't see it anywhere, but my commentary is saying it is absolutely hammering it down. As Verstappen comes round the penultimate corner... Oh, no, it isn't. It's Perez. Why is it showing me Perez? Why is it showing me Perez? I don't care about... Why are we watching Perez? DRS is disabled. Where's it raining? I can't see it. Please make sure you've hit that like button, guys. They're so valuable to the stream. Make sure you've followed, you've subscribed, and all of that good stuff. Thank you very much for hanging out. If you've never been on my stream before, I'm Rich. This is Pit Lane Sim Racing, and I am a partner content creator on Facebook. And usually I stream Formula One and racing games. Please do make sure you're following me. I'm going to do watch-alongs on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, but my normal gaming content is exclusively on Facebook. Max Verstappen, penultimate corner, cruising. I mean, great result. Great drive. You can't knock that drive, can you? There's no way to knock that drive. Can't knock that drive from Max. Can't knock that drive from Max. Can't knock that. Really the driver of the day. For me, a genuine, I know he's second as well, but a genuine close second on driver of the day is Lewis Hamilton. Both, honestly, I think those performances, yeah, I know, Paris, I know. I think that genuinely reflects, right, you've got Verstappen winning, Hamilton second. I think that really does demonstrate the two best drivers on the grid, what we saw all last season. I think that reflects the drivers on the grid. I'm sure you get what I mean by that. Hamilton 7th in an improving Mercedes. Verstappen 10th in the best car on the grid currently, getting through. Hamilton getting through. I think that was a great race. It's one of my favourite races of the season, that. Honestly, I think it was a terrible day for Ferrari. And again, I'll say it again, I've been saying it for months, this is Verstappen's title to lose. It really is. Great watch along again, Rich. Didn't listen to the commentary from Sky Sports at all. Hey, dude, that's super nice. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Driver of the day, Max Verstappen. I agree. I agree, really. I voted for Seb just because, but I agree. I agree with that. He needed the thing that made that race was the early passes for Max. No, Dan. Where would he go? Where would Leclerc go? I think that's the question. They wouldn't have him at Red Bull. They've got Max. They wouldn't have him at Mercedes because they've got Lewis and George. There's nowhere for Leclerc to go. And with the greatest of respect, I know people love Leclerc. He's done nothing in the sport yet. He hasn't done anything in the sport yet. At the moment, he's like Danny Rick was. I think you can compare Charles Leclerc now to how Danny Rick was around the same age or longevity within the sport. He's won some races. He clearly is rapid on his day. He's not short of mistakes. Ferrari aren't short of mistakes. But George is taking Hamilton's spot. George is taking Hamilton's spot. They wouldn't bring in. Cheers, Mario. Thank you for the follows there. Thank you, Marcus, for the follow. I feel quite. I don't see. I don't know whether I'm too critical of. I don't know whether I'm too critical of Charles Leclerc. Maybe I am. Charles Leclerc. Let me just Google him. Let me just refresh myself of his racing record in F1. So in Formula One, Leclerc has 5 wins. Apparently, Matthias, yeah. You know, and I'm not being overly critical, but Leclerc has 5 wins. He's the Red Bull strategy was bang on. The thing was, right, what I would say is to that as well, Chris, and this isn't to belittle the strategy from Red Bull at all. Red Bull are aware they have Ferrari in their pockets. Do you get what I mean? As soon as Red Bull blinked, Ferrari destroyed Leclerc's race. Ferrari should have done a Hamilton and Mercedes. They should have gone, no, this is our strategy. And this is what I've been saying all season long, right? All season long. Red Bull and Mercedes are serial winners. And since the days of Schumacher, Ferrari are serial losers, really. And it's this huge thing that hangs over Ferrari, that they force themselves into making mistakes. Like, for me, it made no... Like, what I was defending at the time was the fact that put Leclerc on the hard tyre. There was no other option, because no other tyre gets to the end at that point, we thought. Okay, mediums, but he'd already run 2 sets of mediums, so there was no more mediums. It still baffles me why, at that point of the race, Ferrari reacted so hard to Verstappen. He wasn't that close. It doesn't make sense still. Like, so I'm not defending that they pitted him. I'm defending they put the hard tyres on because it was the only tyre if you're pitting him. But why they reacted like that, it wasn't like, you know, last season where you've got Max, you've got Lewis, and they're fighting tooth and nail for everything. It makes sense to blink. You're afraid of the undercut, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Why Ferrari? They just don't stick to the guns and do their thing. You know, they're not being blind to what the other teams are doing. It's just, I guess it just requires a certain amount of mental fortitude to do that. I'm not taking anything away from the Red Bull strategy and the Max win, because it was a great drive and a perfect strategy. But Ferrari, mate, like, I think people at the beginning of the season were thinking this was going to be some Lewis Max-esque championship with Charles. I just didn't see it, and now it's just not. It's not going to happen, is it? Shall I make a call? I'm wondering. Shall I just go out? Shall I throw one? Everyone's tuning out now. I'm just going to throw something out there. And I'm going to stand by something. Lewis Hamilton will win a Grand Prix before Leclerc wins another one. I think I'm glad Paris probably isn't watching still at this point with me saying that out loud. She won't be happy with me. But I no problem, Chris. Are Ferrari scared of upsetting drivers with tactical decisions? I believe so. But I think Ferrari's main problem is their fear of losing. Yeah, Matthias, I've said this for so long, Matthias. Literally since about the third race of the season, it's Max's title to lose. I've said it for ages. Look, and to bring what my friend John said about the about it, right? And I mean this because I hate double standards. This is precisely the type of season that Lewis Hamilton is hated for. I'm just throwing it out there because I hate double standards. If it was Lewis Hamilton in the lead by 80 points at this point of the season, there would be so much hate. And let me tell you as well, in 3 seasons' time, if Max wins every title to that point, and Max is ahead by this many points, he will also be suffering the same amount of hate. And I've never really understood that. But people seem blind to it until they get bored of it and then they just hate people. It's weird. But yeah, of course you would, Rob. Of course you would, you know? And I always point stuff out. I always point those things out because I think fair's fair. I think fair's fair, pointing such things out. So 28th of August, the next race, I think. I think it's 28th of August is the next race. Let me have a look. Yeah, Spa-Francorchamps, August 28th. August 28th is Spa. It's really raining now as well over in Hungary. So, I mean, I'm quite glad of it. I get some weekends off. Maybe I'll get to do some karting in the next few days. Hey, look, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton chatting like normal people. Fans can do it too. Just listening. Imagine that. Can we just take a moment? Can we just take a moment? Max and Lewis Hamilton chatting like normal people. You don't have to hate a Max fan. You don't have to hate a Lewis fan. Because they don't hate each other. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? But anyway, right then, guys, I'm off to go and have a Sunday dinner that I believe is still cooking at Mrs. R's house. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I think we've had another really, really good watch along. So thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. and I will see you tomorrow morning. We'll be doing some Formula One. Formula 122, my team probably continuing with that. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I love doing these watch-alongs. Honestly, these are the highlight of my job now. I love doing watch-alongs. I get to watch Formula One. I get to talk to you guys. I get to spread my knowledge, share my knowledge, and also receive some knowledge. Maybe get to share my knowledge with new people to the sport. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I will see you tomorrow morning for Formula One 2022. Thank you so much, guys.